family? Water family? Hi all, welcome back to the Art History Babes YouTube channel. I'm Corey, and this is This Week in Art for the week of August 13th. Real quick, if you haven't, make sure to check out the podcast, Art History Babes Podcast, at arthistorybabes.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We are also on all of the social medias, so that's linked down below for you. Make sure to check us out. On last week's episode, I got a request for more bun, and I am happy to oblige. So let's cut to that little nugget. Art news. Story number 1, Martin Perez to represent US in the 2019 Venice Biennale. So if you don't know, the Venice Biennale is a super prestigious arts exhibition held in Venice, Italy. Every year, the country chooses an artist to send, and there has been a lot of controversy, I guess, surrounding who the current United States administration was going to choose, if they were going to choose anyone at all. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but multiple arts news sources have been reporting that there's some buzz around Martin Perez. Perez is a very interesting contemporary American artist. He works with traditional craft materials, which is my jam. He works largely in wood and bronze. He works a lot using traditional craft methods and is very concerned with the tradition of craft in art making. His work is often considered minimalist. However, he has also rejected the idea that his work is entirely non-referential, as it is built into the history of craft production and all of the narratives that kind of come along with that, involving artistry, race, identity, ritual. I'm just learning about him, but I am very interested in artists that work in what are considered craft mediums and that are interested in bridging that kind of art-craft gap. If you guys are interested in a podcast episode about him, let us know in the comments down below. We could definitely get that ready for you before the Biennale. Story number 2, Killer Mike joins the board at Atlanta's High Museum. Grammy Award-winning rapper and political activist Killer Mike has recently joined the board at the High Museum in Atlanta. The High Museum is a really cool institution. I've only been once, but I had a really interesting art experience there, and I'd love to go back. I have a quote from Killer Mike here. "I'm a product of the arts programming at the Atlanta public school system. I'm looking forward to seeing more people from my part of town, people who look like me at the High. I think you will see the High Museum in a rap video very soon." Also loving this museums and music videos trend. Story number 3, Leonardo had help with Salvator Mundi. If you remember, back in 2017, Salvator Mundi was a big deal because it sold for $450.3 million, which is nuts. It was considered to be like one of the last Leonardos. There was definitely at the time a lot of people thinking otherwise. Actually, if you want to head into our treasure trove of Patreon extra episodes, Jen and I kind of hashed that one out over a lot of champagne. So it's been this kind of contentious thing, but recently art historian and author of an upcoming book about Leonardo da Vinci, Matthew Landis, has come out and said that he believes it was actually a painting by someone in Da Vinci's workshop, which is not an uncommon thing for Renaissance artwork. There was a lot of that going on in masters' workshops. Landis believes that Salvator Mundi was completed mostly by an artist by the name of Bernardo Luini. He also believes that the painting is at least 5 to 20% Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, I trust him. He is kind of a Leonardo da Vinci expert. It's also interesting, I think, when people come up with those kinds of figures, because I feel like that would be a really hard thing to assess. He actually had an interview with Hyperallergic that's linked down below for you if you want to read a little bit more about that. Let me know what you think. Do you think Salvator Mundi was Leonardo da Vinci? Do you have any thoughts on the subject, or just like the insane amount of money that it sold for and what that means for the art market? Definitely comment that down below. In local art news, there is currently a Mural Festival going on in Sacramento, California, which is where I am. It's called Wide Open Walls, and it's a 2-week-long festival celebrating public art, bringing in international artists as well as some local artists to paint murals all over the city of Sacramento. Some of the artists that are working this year are Charmaine Olivia, Shepard Fairey, and David De La Mano. A full list is also linked down below. There's all sorts of events associated with it, like block parties and tours. Unfortunately, I can't go to any of them because I have to work one of my other jobs. However, I was considering maybe venturing out on Wednesday and vlogging some of the street art, hopefully run into some of the artists still working. If that is something that interests you all, make sure you let me know in the comments. And this week in art history. August 10th, 1793. The Musée du Louvre opens. As a museum, anyways. So, in case you don't know, it's a big important museum in France, recently showcased by Beyonce and Jay-Z. The Louvre has a really fascinating history. It was actually first a military fortress in like the 12th and 13th centuries, the remains of which you can still see like down in the basement area of the Louvre. And then in 1546, it was converted into the primary residence for French kings. In 1692, it became an academy of the arts and was for about 100 years. And then during the French Revolution, the National Assembly decided it should be a museum. So on August 10th, 1793, that's what happened. It became a museum. It opened up to the public. 500 and some works that had belonged to previous French nobility, and it has since grown to like 39,000 works, I think. Also, aristocracy kind of continued to have living spaces within the Louvre, and Napoleon III's apartment is showcased at the Louvre. It doesn't look like there was much living done there. It's very kind of grandiose and ornate. But yeah, so Louvre became a thing. All right, this week's meme. It's actually not really a meme. It is a post that was originally on Tumblr of an artwork from 2008 by Luciano Garbati. I posted this like on all of our social medias, and it is of a sculpture, Medusa with the head of Perseus. I love it, as well as the comments below. Hi, as well as a lot of women have an affinity for Medusa. And I did a research project that went into the history of Medusa and ideas of like the monstrous feminine in ancient Greek mythology in grad school. And it was a really interesting project. I really enjoyed doing that one. Anyways, in the entire tale of Medusa, you should definitely look it up if you don't know it, because it's super tragic, and like, I think we grew up with this idea that like Medusa was the evil one, obviously. Like, she had a head of snakes and she would turn you to stone by looking at you, and like, so she was the monster. She was the one that needed to be defeated. But her story of how she got like that is super tragic and like just riddled with the patriarchy. And then the fact that like Perseus set out to kill her. Really, she was just like, she had already been exiled. She was basically just minding her own business, and then Perseus shows up with like his shield and beheads her. There's just a lot wrong with this story. And so seeing it flipped like that is really cool, and also the sculpture is beautiful. The way Medusa is depicted, very strong, very powerful. Not this like super sexualized female form. Also, I just like this idea of flipping myths, just flipping the narrative of myths, because I think it's an interesting thought exercise. So that is this week's, like, not really meme, but you know what I mean, kind of. Few things to look out for with the podcast. Our 100th episode's coming up very, very soon, which is exciting. And it's going to be all about memes and meme culture and how that intersects with visual culture and art history. And we're going to talk about astrology and Dada and contemporary art making. It was a really fun episode to record, and so I think it'll probably be a really fun episode to listen to. So be on the lookout for that coming very, very soon. Also, our giveaway is only a few more days. So it's until this day right here, the 17th. If you want to be entered to win into our giveaway, all you have to do is head over to arthistorybabes.com, head over to our store, make a purchase. Every item purchased is an entry into the giveaway, and that includes art by our featured artist, Zach Clark, and we'll pick the winner on the 17th. So get over there, get your merch, and yeah, that'll be a fun time. All right, that's all I got for you guys this week. Thanks so much for watching. If you're enjoying these, please like, please subscribe, please share with everyone. You can also support the Art History Babes and what we're doing by heading over to our Patreon, patreon.com/arthistorybabes. You get access to bonus episodes, a new bonus episode every month for as low as $1 a month. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Plus, we have some new stuff kind of rolling out about different ways we're going to engage with our patrons and make kind of a VIP space for conversations and things like that. So check that out. We really, really, really appreciate it. Not to like be a beggar or anything, but all of us work like multiple jobs. I think between the 4 of us, we work like 7 jobs or something. And we adore making this content, and we want to be able to keep making it and make it as often as possible. And so your support is really, really helpful and necessary in making that happen. So thank you guys so much for your support. You're the best. We love you. And I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye!